Hello everyone. Today we will have session on 5G identity. This is part 2 of 5G identity. In part 1 we had learnt about SUPI and SUSI. Today we'll learn about GUTI, Globally Unique Temporary ID. And once we understand GUTI, we'll also come to know TIMSI, shortened TIMSI and AMF ID. In 5G user equipment, you get many identity like SUPI, SUSI, GUTI, TIMSI, shortened TIMSI, IMI, IMI-SV, IP address, RNTI, UE radio capability ID. So in last session, part 1 of the session, we have already covered SUPI and SUSI that is available on the channel. Today we'll cover GUTI and TIMSI. While we go through GUTI, TIMSI, we'll also understand the AMF ID because GUTI is constructed using AMF ID and TIMSI, so we'll also understand that. So just have a recap of SUPI. So SUPI is subscription permanent identifier. So normally up to 4G network it is IMSI. In 5G it can be IMSI, it can be network specific identifier in form of a something at the rate domain, or it could be a global line ID or global cable ID in a NAI format. And SUSI is nothing but encrypted SUPI along with some other parameters. So UV generates SUSI by encrypting the SUPI with public key of home network. And today we'll be discussing about GUTI. So GUTI is 80 bits long, globally unique temporary identifier assigned by AMF, access and mobility function. So let us understand more about GUTI. As I said that GUTI is a temporary identifier and it is used over radio access link. So it is used on the radio when UV communicates with G node B or to the core network through G node B. And the GUTI is allocated by AMF, access and mobility function, which is equivalent to MME in 4G. And the 80-bit long GUTI consists of PLMN, which is nothing but MCC and MNC. PLMN is public land mobile network and it consists of MCC, mobile country code, and mobile network code, AMF ID and TIMSI. So basically AMF ID identifies the AMF which has generated the GUTI, and TIMSI is a temporary unique identifier within that AMF or set of AMF. The TIMSI is not specific to a user or a mobile, so it's a temporary ID assigned dynamically, so it's not permanent or fixed ID for a mobile or subscriber. And there are certain scenarios or conditions in which AMF reallocates new 5G GUTI to the UE, which we will discuss in the upcoming slides. And if there are 3GPP network and non-3GPP network, both is if it is being served by the same AMF, so the same GUTI can be used in that 3GPP network or non-3GPP network. So that is about GUTI. Now let us understand how GUTI is formed and what it consists of. So if you look at GUTI, it has got two parts. One, as I said, is the AMF which has actually generated the GUTI. Another is the temporary ID itself. So the temporary ID, which is called 5G TIMSI, TIMSI is temporary mobile subscriber identity, is of 32 bits. And GUAMI, which is global unique AMF identifier, which is of 48 bits. So 48 plus 32 becomes 80 bits. So it's a GUAMI, that is the global unique AMF ID, and the 5G TIMSI is your 5G GUTI. But let us see what GUAMI contains, what global unique AMF ID contains. So it will contain again the PLMN, which is MCC and MNC, mobile country code and mobile network code. So mobile country code is of 3 digits, and every digits 4 bits, so 12 bits. Similarly, mobile network code 12 bits, and AMF ID is of 24 bits. So 24 plus 12 plus 12, 48 bits. So this is how GUAMI is made of. Now the AMF ID consists of 3 parameters: AMF region ID, AMF set ID, and AMF pointer. So AMF region ID is of 8 bits, and it uniquely identified a region. So operators normally will divide the geographical area into region, and every region they will give a 8-bit code which will be configured into the network. So within AMF region there will be AMF set ID, there will be multiple AMF set ID, 10-bit set ID, so they can have various set ID, and within the set ID you have AMF pointer, which is of 6 bit, and AMF pointer will actually point maybe one AMF or maybe a set of AMF. It depends upon the configuration. So it could, one AMF pointer can point to one AMF, or it can point to more than one AMF, set of AMF. So finally the GUAMI is able to identify either the specific AMF or a set of AMF. But onto the network, 5G GUTI, which is consist of 80 bits, is not always transmitted. So shorter version of GUTI is transmitted, which is called 5G shortened TIMSI. So that is shortened form of 5G GUTI. So when within the AMF region 5G STIMSI is used, and why shortened version of TIMSI is used? To because it's a very big 80 bits length, so the signaling load decreases, or will have a less load on signaling when we use shortened TIMSI. So shortened TIMSI is 16 bit here plus 32 bit, so 48 bits. So the total number of bits here is 48 bits out of the 80 bits. So there is a saving of 32 bits on signaling. So for that shortened version of TIMSI is used. So now we have understood 5G GUTI, we have understood GUAMI, we have understood AMF ID, AMF region ID, AMF set ID, and AMF pointer. So let's discuss something more about shortened TIMSI. As I said, it is a 48 bits now. So when paging is done, so this part I'm reading out. So when paging is done, so the paging is done at different time to a set of UEs, and those set of UEs are picked up using the 10 least significant bits of the 5G TIMSI. So group of UE are paged, and those group of UEs are identified based on the 10 least significant bits. So 5G TIMSI is a 48 bits, so you look at only the last 10 bits, least significant 10 bits, and set of such TIMC you use for paging. So that means so here in the specification it is written that the AMF shall ensure that the 10 least significant bit of the 5G TIMC are evenly distributed. When we say evenly distributed, means geographically those should be uniformly distributed, so that the paging load is not at one side but it is spread. Let us also recap how identity exchange takes place between user equipment and the network, because that will help us understand how frequently GUTI is changed and for what purpose GUTI is changed, and when GUTI is used and when SUSI is used, for that understanding. This I had also covered in part 1. Quickly let us cover in part 2 for better understanding. So for initial registration, when the UE or MS want to register itself onto the 5G network, so it sends a registration request, but it do not send the SUPI. It encrypts the SUPI using public key of home network in SUSI, and along with registration message, SUSI is sent to AMF. Through G node B, it goes to AMF. Now AMF will send this SUSI to AUSF and UDM for decryption of SUSI into SUPI. So the UDM converts SUSI into SUPI because it has got corresponding private key and it is able to decrypt. And once it has decrypted, the authentication response comes to AMF with SUPI. So now AMF has got SUPI. From encrypted SUSI, it has got now SUPI. Now it generates GUTI, the way we explained 80 bits GUTI, and creates a mapping of SUPI and GUTI. Now while responding back to the mobile or UE, it sends the GUTI with the registration accept message. It sends the GUTI, temporary ID. Now this temporary ID is kept by the UE, and all subsequent registration request, periodic registration request or any other registration, it sends the GUTI to the network and not the SUPI or SUSI. And so this actually ensures confidentiality of the identification of the UE onto the air interface. So suppose mobile or UE again does a periodic registration request. So this time it will do with GUTI, not with SUSI. So there could be two scenarios. One scenario is that the AMF is actually able to generate SUPI using the GUTI because it may have the mapping of that, and then authentication takes place and registration success message goes. There could be other scenario, case 2, wherein AMF is not able to map GUTI into SUPI for some reason. In that case, it will request to send the identity request with SUPI, and then UE will again send the SUSI, and the same process which I discussed in the first step takes place and registration completes. So this is how identity exchange happens between UE and network. But as you said that GUTI is a temporary ID which is frequently changed. So what are the new scenarios? What is the scenario wherein a new GUTI is given to UE or MS? So the first is that during the initial registration request message, AMF generates 5G GUTI and sends to UE as part of registration accept message. The second scenario could be the periodic registration update. So whenever there is a periodic registration request, even if the GUTI is already allocated to UE, it allocates a new GUTI again and sends to the UE. So this adds to security or confidentiality of the identity of the UE. And the third scenario is that whenever there is a service request message like paging and all, so when it responds, so service request message sent by UE, at that point of time also AMF sends the new 5G GUTI. So these are the scenario wherein new GUTI is assigned to UE by the AMF. Now let us understand mapping of 5G GUTI and 4G GUTI. In 4G also temporary ID is called GUTI, but it has got a slightly different structure. So let us first understand 4G GUTI and then we'll discuss about how it can be mapped with 5G GUTI. Why this mapping is required? All because in the roaming scenario, that means when UE move from 5G network to 4G network, it has to interact with MME, and then that's how it is required to map 5G GUTI into 4G GUTI, and reverse also from a 4G network to 5G network. So before we discuss, let us understand 4G GUTI. So 4G GUTI is similar. So it consists of MCC, mobile country code, which is 12 bits, then mobile network code, which is again 12 bit, same as 5G. But in place of AMF region ID and set ID, it has got MME group ID, which is of 16 bit, and then you have MME code, which is of 8 bit. So total number of bits in 4G and 5G is same, but there is a slight difference. So in case of mapping, what happens is that MME group ID, which is of 16 bit, so if you take first 8 bits, it becomes AMF region ID, and then balance 8 bits of MME group ID and 2 bits from the MF set ID is a kind of so in case suppose MME code is 8 bit and AMF set is 6 bit. So if you want to convert AMF set into MME code, so you have to take 2 bit from AMF set ID. So that becomes MME code. So this is a kind of conversion which can take place from 4G GUTI to 5G GUTI or 5G GUTI to 4G GUTI. So let us understand how it happens. What are the steps when a 5G user moves from a 5G network, it moves to 4G network. So suppose a UE is being served by G node B, which is 5G network, and GUTI is here assigned by AMF. So now let us understand this 5G user is moving this side and it's going to the 4G network, where in radio is called E node B, and you have MME. So what UE does is that UE kind of map 5G GUTI, because it has got GUTI from AMF while it was in the 5G network. Now it has moved to 4G network, so it converts 5G GUTI into 4G GUTI as we explained in the previous slide, and sends to MME during the registration process. So now MME has to get the contest so that UE contest, so that it can serve the new UE which is trying to register. So it converts back the 4G GUTI, because UE has converted 5G GUTI into 4G GUTI. Now MME is converting back into 5G GUTI, and then it is sending to AMF and getting the context so that it can serve the UE. So that's how it happens. The other example could be that UE is actually registered in MME and it has got an GUTI which is 4G GUTI, and now it suddenly moved to the 5G network area. So there the UV converts now 4G GUTI into 5G GUTI and sends to the AMF. Now AMF to serve this UE needs the UE context. So it converts back into 5G from 5G GUTI to 4G GUTI and takes the context from MME, because once it converts into 4G it knows which MME was serving that and it can get the context, and then other process will take place. So this is how 5G and 4G GUTI is used while user is roaming from 5G to 4G or 4G to 5G network area. So with this we have finished part 2 of our session. So thank you very much. Do subscribe to this channel so that you get a notification whenever I do a new session. Thank you.